Okay, so thank you, Taya, for this introduction. So as already mentioned, I'm the coordinator of this study program, so mathematical sciences, and yeah, now in approximately 20 minutes, I would like to give you some information about this study program and maybe why it's good to continue your study in mathematics and why to do this at FAMNIT, and of course also some particular information about this study program. So yeah, just one slide at the beginning about the location of FAMNIT. So FAMNIT is located somehow here on this slide, and yeah, this is very close to the beach here, and also to the main square, so the Tito Square, where the rectorate is located as well. And yeah, I would say that FAMNIT has a really good location in Koper. So first of all, some starting information about the study program. So it's a second degree study program, of course. Yeah, you have to do it for 2 years. It's valued 120 credit points. How do you collect these 120 credits? You have to somehow choose 12 courses. Each of them counts 6 credit points, and beside this you have to also select 4 seminars. So actually each semester you have to choose one of the seminar. I mean, you have to choose the seminar, right? So this is somehow compulsory, let's say. And at the end you do the master thesis. Yeah, the degree at the end which you get is somehow equivalent to the master's degree in mathematics. So somehow we say it Magister Mathematicae or Magistrica Mathematicae. Well, there are 2 versions of the study program, so both the Slovenian and the English one. So yeah, somehow they differ, especially in these compulsory courses which are given in both languages. But for some elective courses, usually we somehow check what kind of students do we have and which language they would prefer, and then we decide in which language we do some of the elective courses. Okay, so the structure of the courses for both years. So in the first year, yeah, you have to choose, actually select 8 courses. 3 among them are compulsory, but still there is a list of compulsory courses, and 5 of them are elective courses. But also these 5 are split somehow into internal elective courses as well as external elective courses. So internal means that there is a list of mathematical elective courses, and among these you have to choose 3 of them in the first year. And for the external courses, as it's standard, somehow you can choose them also from this list of mathematical courses, but also you can choose them from some other study programs like data science, computer science, or you can choose them also at some other faculties or even outside of our university. And then in the second year, you have to choose again 4 elective courses. The 2 seminars are somehow compulsory, and at the end you finish your study with master's thesis. Yeah, and now maybe let's go to some reasons why one would study mathematics, or not just study mathematics, but why one would continue with studying mathematics on the second degree, because now you're already much closer to your final goal, so to get employment. And here is a list of some employment possibilities, let's say. So if you will more orient into the financial mathematics, then there are some financial institutions where you can get a job, like insurance companies, banks, trading firms, lotteries. Yeah, also you can get a job at some IT companies where they would be very glad to have you as a software developer, programmer, and vice versa. Yeah, if you will continue with your studies on the second degree, so to do the PhD study, then you can maybe find a position at some of the universities or institutes. Yeah, if you select your study field to be a cryptography, then there are also some interesting possibilities where to get a job. I just listed here 3 possible ministries. Then, of course, we have some technological companies where also mathematicians are very somehow good candidates for a job, and you can also be a teacher in a primary or high school, but for this you have to do some additional pedagogical courses, for example, at our Faculty for Education at our university. And here these are some data from one one paper which was published 2 years ago in United States, where they did some research about the best jobs, not just from the salary point of view, but as well as from the somehow work environment point of view, and also amount of stress that is present at the work. Yeah, so here is a list of 10 somehow best possible jobs, let's say, and I marked here with red the ones which are somehow appropriate also for someone who will finish with this study program. Yeah, some are such that it's better for financial mathematics, like this actuary here, and yeah, some are such that are really completely oriented for mathematicians. But anyway, this is the study that was done in the United States. So usually similar behavior is visible in Europe a few years later, and maybe in Slovenia even we have to add some more years, but I expect that parts of this information will hold us also for Slovenia in a few years. And yeah, also nowadays it's not really difficult to get a decent job if you are a mathematician in Slovenia. So it's not the same as maybe for some other disciplines. Okay, now why would you continue with your study at FAMNIT, or why would you come to FAMNIT if you didn't do the first degree at FAMNIT? So I will try to mention a few, let's say, advantages of FAMNIT, or maybe some things that we are proud of. So first of one, our international cooperation. So almost quarter of professors and researchers, as well as more than 40% of students, are coming from abroad. Yeah, so this is, I would say, quite a high number, especially for professors and researchers. So we have a lot of cases where university professors decide to quit their job, I know, in the United States or in some other countries, and they move to Slovenia, and yeah, they employ at FAMNIT and decide to live in Slovenia. Yeah, actually. Then our staff, so professors and researchers, also organize and attend many international conferences. They do a lot of research visits abroad. So here you have two figures which are showing somehow this. On the left here you see from which countries teachers and researchers are coming to visit our professors, and on the right you can see to which countries we are going, you know, to attend the conferences or for research visits. So we have a nice collaboration, as I already mentioned at the beginning. So each year we also organize a PhD summer school in discrete mathematics. This is for a 1-week summer school. You can get 3 credit points if you attend this summer school, and this also, even if it's a PhD summer school, is appropriate for maybe second-year master students that would be interested in particular in this field. At FAMNIT, we have more than 100 bilateral agreements with universities all over the world. So some students decide that they will do 1 semester at some other universities, and then somehow we decide which courses they can listen there and do there, and then we somehow accept them, these courses, as our usually elective courses here at FAMNIT. Yeah, so we have a lot of these agreements, as I mentioned. Then we also encourage our successful students to participate at some competitions, math competitions, and for master students we are also trying to somehow involve them in some conferences, especially the ones which we are organizing, so that they somehow get this feeling of scientific meetings in the field of mathematics. Yes, about research, I have to say that mathematics is somehow the most successful field or discipline at our university from this point of view. So from the research point of view, we have a very close collaboration with Andrej Marušič Institute, which is also a member of our university. We have some strong research groups, in particular in the following 2 fields, so discrete mathematics and cryptography. I would say, especially in discrete mathematics, we have a group which is somehow among the best in the world. Another result which we are very proud of is that we are publishing journal Ars Mathematica Contemporanea, which somehow was the first Slovenian scientific journal that ranked in the top quartile among all scientific journals with impact factors. So there exists a list of approximately 300 or a bit more mathematical journals with impact factors. So these are already all very well journals. And yeah, if you are ranked in the first quartile among these journals, it's a really good result. And yeah, like I said, this journal was the first Slovenian journal for which was able to come to this first quartile. Yeah, and there is another journal which is much younger, but somehow we are publishing it for a few years now, and we expect that it will come to the same list in few years. Well, I probably already mentioned that another advantage of FAMNIT is that we have a lot of different study and research areas at the same faculty. So when you will try to choose some external elective courses, for example, from the fields of data science or computer science or some others, you can do this at the same faculty, which could be advantage maybe. So you don't need to go to the other faculty, but you can do all these, you can get all these courses at the same faculty. Our teachers and researchers are still quite young, I have to say. So in average, or actually in most of the professors are somehow between 30 and 50 years. And my opinion is that this has some, this implies somehow to have more personal contacts with students. I hope and I believe that students really have the same opinion as I have. Yes, and the sixth thing which I would like to mention here is that FAMNIT is the host institution for the 8th European Congress of Mathematics, which will be organized in a month, so in June this year. So this is the second largest mathematical event in the world after the World Congress of Mathematics. And there will be around 1,300 participants, more than 1,000 talks. So the event should actually be organized already last year, but because of this COVID situation, we postponed it to this year. And also now it will mainly be organized online. But still, what I want to say somehow, you know, this Congress is organized once per 4 years. And if the European Mathematical Society decided that we are the institution which will organize this 8th European Congress, this really means that we are somehow very well recognized in the Europe and yeah, even wider. Okay, so some options after you will finish with your master study. So somehow there are the three natural choices. Either you will try to get employment, and I already listed at the beginning few possibilities where you can get a job. Either you will decide to continue with your study, so on the third level, so you will do the PhD study at FAMNIT. Probably you will choose then the study program Mathematical Sciences, or you will move maybe to transit to the computer science program. Just as information, this year we have 12 PhD students enrolled in this study program, and 8 among them are from abroad. They're coming from all possible countries around the world. I mean, from Mexico, China, Russia, United States, Argentina, and so on. And the third possibility is, of course, to continue with your study, PhD study abroad. And I listed here just some universities where our students were accepted after completing the master study here at FAMNIT. These are all some prestigious universities, and this is again one criterion which says that FAMNIT is well recognized abroad. Yeah, now maybe some information about the study field. So at least on these 2 slides, I will give some more detailed information. So next year, we plan to offer to students the following 4 study fields. So beside general mathematics, where somehow you can choose arbitrarily, these elective courses, we will also open these 3 study fields. So discrete mathematics, cryptography, and financial mathematics. And for all these 3 particular fields, you somehow have to choose some of the compulsory courses, as well as some of elective courses from particular blocks of courses. So here you have to be a bit careful. For example, for financial mathematics, you have to choose one particular compulsory course as well as 3 particular elective courses. And yeah, maybe not all of these courses will be offered next year. So some of them you have to choose in your first year and the other ones in the second year. So be careful that you really choose already next year all possible courses that belong to this block, you know, for your particular study field that you're interested in. Maybe I can a bit more explain it on the next slide, where I'm showing now the preliminary timetable or schedule of courses for the next academic year. So it's for the first semester and for the second semester. In both semesters, we have 8 courses plus this seminar, which is obligatory to choose. So actually among these 16 courses, you have to choose 8 of them. Yeah. And so if you decide for the field general mathematics, then you can choose any of them you want. But otherwise, somehow, like I said, you have to also be careful from which blocks you choose these courses. For example, if you decide for the study field financial mathematics, this is, so selected topics in financial mathematics is one course that you have to choose somehow and as a compulsory course, and there will also be 2 courses offered as elective courses, which you somehow can choose if you decide for this field. Altogether, you actually in 2 years have to choose 3 elective courses from a particular block for the financial mathematics, and 2 will be offered this year, probably another 2 next year. So yeah, like I mentioned already before, be careful to choose all possible courses that fit into this block already next year, that you will not have problems then in the second year of the study. And the same holds, of course, if you decide for the study field cryptography, then you have to choose this course here, so selected topics in cryptography, and beside this also some particular elective courses like finite geometries and coding theory, for example. And yeah, if you decide for the discrete mathematics field, then you will choose selected topics in discrete mathematics and probably also symmetry and traversability in graphs, algorithms on graphs, and maybe selected topics in number theory. So all this information, which courses belong to some blocks for a particular study fields, you can find on the web page. So maybe if there will be any particular questions, I can answer, but otherwise I would not go too much into details here. And yeah, there are also some courses which are somehow not just for these 3 particular fields which I mentioned. For example, selected topics in topology, selected topics in numerical mathematics, mathematical practicum, also this number theory is very general, selected topics in algebra and in analysis, of course, statistics, and yeah, so on. So we have, as I said, 16 courses, and somehow 8 among them you have to choose next year. I think that's enough from my side for now. And now I will give word to our student Aljaž to somehow explain us his point of view, how he feels studying at FAMNIT. And then there will be time for questions. Okay, now I will stop sharing. Okay.
So hello, my name is Aljaž, and I'm a student of mathematical sciences in the process of finishing my master thesis. Actually, so in the next slide, I would like to share a little bit about my experience at studying at FAMNIT. So I like studying at FAMNIT because of its high quality of the program. The thing was very high quality, relaxed atmosphere, as was said earlier. This relationship between students and professors is a little bit more relaxed. Also maybe due to the small groups of students, I believe. And the most important thing for me was that the feeling that I did a really good upgrade to my studies from the first degree. Besides studies, I would like to share my experience about living in Koper. I find it very nice because it is a small town, and I find it as an advantage opposed to living in a bit maybe a bigger town, bigger city. and there are lots of activities besides studies, like for example, some sport activities. The student organization does a really good job at organizing events, and there are all these competitions that were mentioned earlier. And this was in really brief my experience. And now I'm open to any questions there might be.
So Alexa, if you have,
I mean, I have
particular
questions
yeah.
About the program, not so much about the student life, as I'm pretty much accustomed to.
Of course.
Okay.
I know what it's like.
So
I had a few questions about the inner elective courses. So,
yes.
and how to say it? Temeljni predmet,
Yeah.
The mandatory courses, I guess.
Yeah.
So like the mandatory courses, there are 3 in the first year, and we have to choose among of those 8, which you have showed to us.
So actually, like I have shown, so yeah, maybe I can share once more. Okay, so I have shown here actually 16 courses, right, beside this seminar, and some among them are somehow on the list of compulsory courses or mandatory courses, and some belong to the list of elective courses. So you can find all this information on the web page, but somehow, yeah, like you said, in the first year you have to choose 3 compulsory courses and 5 elective courses. So, for example, if you decide to select the field general mathematics, then there is written from which blocks somehow you can choose compulsory courses and from which blocks you can choose elective courses. Actually, for general mathematics, everything is possible, right? And yeah, so some among these are said to be compulsory courses and some are said to be elective courses. So yeah, you said 8. I'm not completely sure now if there are exactly 8 which are...
I mean 8 by a semester.
Okay, yeah. But you know, like selected topics in analysis, selected topics in algebra, and some other courses are somehow, you know, from this list of compulsory courses, let's say, but you have still a choice which courses you will choose, right? So they are not completely fixed, right? So probably there are, I have to check also on the webpage, which are really set as compulsory courses and which are set as elective courses. And so you have a list probably here around 6 to 8 courses from which you have to choose these 3, and from the others you have to choose 5 elective courses.
Yeah, I'm asking because on the page it isn't updated, so I wasn't sure what can we even choose for our internal electives and external electives. And I know that in the bachelor studies, during my bachelor studies, the inner elective courses could be from mathematics or computer science. So here in the master's degree, it must be from mathematics.
Yes,
the electives.
The ones that are internal elective courses have to be chosen from this list, yes.
Yes,
but you still have like 3 external courses where you can choose, you know, courses from computer science, as you said. But somehow these internal courses, I know what you mean. Under undergraduate studies, we also allow somehow that you choose internal courses from the computer science program. But yeah, here somehow we are more strict, let's say. So these internal courses are really meant to be chosen from this list of mathematical courses.
Yeah, that list would be consisting of only these subjects, or?
Yeah, so like I said, you have to choose 8 courses, and these 16 will be offered next year. Yes, and so in 2022, 2023, we will offer some new courses and maybe not offer some which will be offered next year. So we are somehow changing few of the courses each year.
And one of them must be a seminar.
Yeah, some seminaries must be, exactly. So, and it's each semester, so this means 2 years times, so four seminars you actually have to attend. Yeah.
So we have to do a seminar with Professor Kovac 2 times
per year. Yes.
Okay.
So actually 4 times in general, but this is actually, yeah, it's, you know, it's course which it's for the whole year, but basically, yeah, you have to understand it as a course which it's not just for 1 semester, but it's for the whole year. And at the end, I'm not sure what the obligations would be. Maybe Aljaž can help to answer here, because he also had this.
Yes, so usually it was you had to do one presentation per semester. You choose a topic you want to talk about. This would usually include an article or something like that, and you would do a presentation, maybe 20 to 30 minutes every semester. And you meet once a week or maybe once every 2 weeks. So this is how we get. And I think it is not even, it's just pass or not pass. I think it's not even graded with grades from 1 to 10.
Yeah, and especially in the second year, maybe in the second semester of the second year, you already present somehow what you plan to do for your master thesis, I believe.
Yes. This was, I think he said the last year that this was the obligation, that one presentation out of the 4 basically has to be what your master thesis is about.
And also the mandatory courses come from these. Okay, yeah, I already asked that question. Yeah, okay.
Yes, that's true. So I have to check actually which among them are on the list of mandatory courses. So maybe this word mandatory is not completely right, because you still have some, you can somehow, you have some selection here. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if you choose, I don't know, financial mathematics, you must have the course in financial mathematics, statistics.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you choose financial mathematics, then one of these 3 compulsory courses is really fixed, right? It has to be from this block of financial mathematics, and there is just this one, selected topics in financial mathematics.
Okay.
And then there is a block of elective courses for this field, and I think there are 4 or 5 courses there. And this year we will offer, so you have to choose 3 of them, right? And this year, so next year we will offer these 2, and when you will be a second year student, there will be another 2 offered. So somehow all together, so probably another 2, right? So all together, probably from 4, you will have to choose 3 courses. And maybe one of these 2, which will be offered next year, like game theory and statistics, will not be offered, after 2 years. So
I understood.
So then I would suggest that you really choose these 3 topics somehow, and then you're on the safe side, let's say.
Okay, great. Those are pretty much all of the questions I had for now.
If you will anytime have any other questions, like Tai already said, you can ask our referat, or you can write an email to me, and yeah, I can ask them, or whatever you prefer. So you're our student, so you know somehow the relations.
Yeah, of course.